Welcome to another edition of the Bryan Turner Basketball Podcast. And we on location at Cross Grand Studios. And I want to make sure that I salute Chip Smith for his opportunity for us coming in, recording in this studio and in this environment. And, you know, we had to roll out the red carpet for, one of my favorite players. And when I started this podcast, the one thing that I wanted to do is make sure I give people their flowers before, you take off down the road and you take off and you blow up. This is my way of giving you your flowers and having you having me appreciate you for being a player, allowing me to coach you for even since your freshman year, going into that your transition from 8th grade to 9th grade. So I want to give you the flowers now, and I want to kind of usher in and make sure folks are aware that we're talking to Yuri Collins of St. Louis University basketball. Welcome to the show.
For sure. Appreciate you.
Yeah, so I think this episode is real important because, when I'm doing these, I be wanting folks to learn a lot, and not only just learn a lot from the game itself, but also how the game can benefit people moving forward. So this conversation, we're going to be all over the place. I want to talk about your legacy, but most important, I want people to learn something from this, whether if it's a parent, if it's a player, the next generation player, the parents that have kids that's playing in Little League. I want them to get something from this interview. And you've probably talked about this a lot of times in other places, but I want to be able to have this conversation one-on-one, coach, player type of information to get this stuff out here. So right off the bat, as a high school coach, I don't mean to be mean and negative, and we've had conversations a lot of times, but having coaches speak the real and being real authentic with you, do you think was that ever an important thing that we ever went through or that you went through in high school? So kind of talk about that just right off the bat, just having a coach that's being authentic to you.
Yeah, just saying that it go a long way, being real. Coming in my freshman year to St. Mary's, you, Coach Lee, Coach Green. That's why I attended St. Mary's, because y'all was real out the gate. Y'all letting me know how stuff was going to go. Coach Lee, he was, a good head coach. He let me know, it wasn't going to be easy. And that's what really stuck with me throughout this whole process with y'all. Y'all let me know since day one it wasn't going to be easy, and it wasn't. So, keeping it 100 and be authentic, it's big time because it go a long way. I'm in college right now, and a lot of that stuff, you look at college, it's a business now. So you ain't gonna get a whole bunch of that real and authentic no more.
Right.
A coach go tell you what you want to hear, and you go get there, and it might not be what he told you before. So
exactly.
Just learning that and seeing that in high school, you kind of know, me personally, I kind of know what it is to be real and authentic. It's big time. I can go on and on about that. It's crazy though.
So, and then the main, and we'll title this episode later on, but the main thing that I want to kind of get from this, a lot of people say, I want to go D1. I want to go D1. And the key word is want, right? Yeah. At what age or when did you start putting the seeds in your mind saying, this is what I want to do and working at this? So at what age did you start getting off into thinking I want to be able to go D1 or play at a high level?
It went to my 7th grade year. It wasn't even a thing. I wasn't saying I want to go D1. It was more this what I want to do.
Hoop.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to play basketball my whole life. I wasn't thinking D1 and all the Dukes and Kentuckys and going to the NBA. That wasn't on my mind at the time. I just know I wanted to be real good at basketball and play this game for the rest of my life. So 7th grade, that's when I really started getting into training. I dropped it. I stopped playing football and baseball.
Because that's what I was just finna say. So let's talk about football, because a lot of people just think, all right, man, Yuri Collins, the basketball star. So you started off, was football your first sport, or what was your first sport?
Football was my first sport because my dad had a football team. Mm-hmm. So I played with my dad. I was playing 2 years up with my dad. And then,
Freddie was out there just was. So Freddie coaching the team, getting on y'all about doing this, doing that.
Quarterback, wide receiver, running back, linebacker, you name it. I was playing everything. And then I was playing 2 grades up, and I was still one of the best players on my team.
Hold on. So you in what grade?
I was in the 4th, 5th grade.
4th, 5th grade, playing 6th grade, playing 7th grade.
Yeah.
Man, he had you playing everything.
But at the time, people don't know I was like real fast. And then being out there with them older kids, you don't want to get hit. So I'm out there running for my life. So, I mean, football was probably the first sport like I really jumped into. And it was because of my dad. My dad was real good in high school playing football. So that was the first sport he introduced me to. And then baseball, what a lot of people don't know is baseball used to be my favorite sport. I love baseball. I was real good at it. But I don't know, it was something about basketball. It was just something about basketball that clicked with me. And then in 7th grade, I'm like, this is what I want to do. I started getting the gym heavy. I dropped football and baseball. I told my mom and daddy, like, this is what I want to do. And my daddy, he invested in me. I'm in the gym every day, all night. Me and Coach Fraze, a lot of y'all know Fraze. Man, we in the gym every night, one-on-ones, 2 hours. I go home, go to school, wake up, I'm doing it all over again. So, I mean, it was a grind, but, I mean, it takes a lot.
Right, man. And like a lot of times it's big when I talk about like 10,000 hours. And when you say 10,000 hours to be, let's just say to be good at something, like when you think about that, you're like, man, 10,000 hours, I can never get to that. Yeah. But when you're doing something you love, you don't even trip off the hours that you putting in. So kind of speak to that. So you saying 2 hours and you getting up doing it all again. Did it ever feel like it was work or?
I mean, at a young age, I felt like at a young age, you're supposed to have fun with the game. So if you love to play basketball, go play basketball. When I got to 7th grade, it was more like, it became more serious to me. It was still fun, but I didn't take it as a joke no more. Like, I was out there trying to kill everybody I had to, because I knew that's what I wanted to do. So, I mean, I was calling my daddy. Ain't nobody had to tell me, hey, Yuri, you finna go do this, go do that. Come do this. I was calling, like, what's up? Like, let's get in the gym. And that's when my dad, he tried to preach to my little brothers all the time, like, man, I ain't had to get Yuri up out the bed to go do this and go do that. But I mean, I tell them all the time, like, we different. Like, they ain't gonna be like me. But yeah, I mean, for me, it was just, I knew what I wanted to do. So like, it ain't feel like it was what I wanted to do. So being in the gym whenever I could get in the gym, I was trying to get in the gym. And I mean, if it was 10 o'clock at night, I was in there. It was 8 a.m. in the morning, I was cool with it. So
and that was one thing that always it stood out for me just seeing you. And I remember seeing you my first time seeing. I told Coach Lee this. Y'all came over it was probably at the beginning of your 8th grade year, and you and the twins just in the gym hooping, and I'm just looking and I'm just like, are y'all not gonna say none of this, dude? Like, I'm looking at how you just handling the ball, the way you just, and y'all just hooping like, and I don't even know if y'all had hooping clothes on, but it's just the fact y'all playing 2-on-2 or 2-on-1 full court going up and down, and I'm like, so ain't nobody finna say none of them, And at the time, Coach Brooks was my college teammate, had you guys at Compton Drew, and the first thing that they were saying, oh man, they going to Pattonville. They going to Pattonville. So from then, I'm like, man, if he don't go to Pattonville, man, y'all need to say something to this dude, So when did you have it in your mind that you was just like, okay, I want to end up going somewhere like St. Mary's? Was it anything that just stood out? Was it just the warm feeling that you just said, man, I can feel myself making a statement or being like a legacy player at this school?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I want to shout out Coach Brooks because he really, he took me under his arms. 6th grade year, he built his little BBA team, and I had just got cut from Team Ramey, so I really didn't have no team, to play.
Hold on. You got cut from Team Ramey, man. So hold on.
Team Ramey cut me my 6th grade year, and I mean, I was just lost in the sauce then. And Coach Brooks, he was a teacher at my school, so I mean, the little 6-7 players we had was everybody that went to Compton Drew. And yeah, we was rocking and rolling until he had to make his transition out of town. But yeah, big shout outs to him for doing that. But yeah, going to Pattonville was the plan for me, the twins. I mean, really all of us, the whole of BBA team, because we was gonna stay with Coach Brooks.
Right.
And Coach Brooks ended up announcing he was moving out of town. So then it was, now what we go do? I've been in public schools my whole life.
Right.
So we started looking at the Sodans, the Madison Prep, all them public schools.
Right.
My mom went into it though. The only school she was really sold on was Sodan, and it was really because the coach, James Washington, who was there at the time.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
It was cool with him. My uncles knew him, so it was like, all right, cool. The twins was going there.
So you was like, oh man, we finna head on over
here,
here,
stick
right?
Together. So yeah, my dad wanted me at CBC. He was big on it. I'll go play behind Jordan Barnes, and I wasn't that type of dude. I wasn't trying to go play behind nobody. I ain't care who you was, the hype you had.
Right.
If you was going to this school, I wasn't trying to play behind them. So I was really into Sodan just because like that was really the only option I had until Coach Green came around and introduced me to St. Mary's. I never heard of St. Mary's a day in my life.
So you was like, man, hold on, St. Mary's. Like, man, who is this? What is this team? And then you got to think too, though. The year before, man, I love the team, I love the school, man. But we was like, I don't even think we were 500, or we had just that year we had just lost to Vashon, and look, okay, so we lose to Vashon, and I can look up the stats, but I think we probably had maybe, and I'm just being on the low end, 30 turnovers. 30 turnovers in a game, in a basketball game. Now just imagine you had 30 turnovers in a basketball game and then you only lose the game by like 7 or 8.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, what is this? And then we had Tony Burks, we had Yahuza, which they were just freshmen and just, fresh out of the water. Yeah. But like that's what we had. And so I'm like, man, look, if we get us a point guard for the next couple of years, man, we can be cool. So you saw that and you was just like, I might be able to do something over here.
I mean, really, Coach Green used to bring me to y'all games and stuff. And I mean, I used to watch y'all, and Yahuza and Tony, they stuck out. They was real good. They was killing everybody out there. But at that age, I could never like really put it together like, oh, they need a point guard, so I need to come here.
Okay.
Like I wasn't thinking like that at the time. It was just the fact I knew I was gonna be surrounded by good coaches, and I mean, the school itself, the environment, the academics, and all that stuff played into a part of me choosing St. Mary's. So, I mean, when I got there, I remember Tony and Yahuza, they told me this story. They said when Coach Lee and y'all was recruiting me, they said they had, after Coach Lee had told them about me, they had saw me for the first time, and I was real little, real skinny. And they said they walked off like, man, Coach Lee needs to go get me. Like, they need to go get us some help, not him. Like,
right.
And then they ended up telling me this story after my freshman year, like, yeah, you weren't who we thought you was. Like,
see, look.
But yeah, I mean, we laugh about that all the time. But, I mean, I kind of figured with me, Tony, and Yahuza, we could do something special just from watching them the years before. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and we gonna get back into all of that good stuff, but I kind of want to stay on subject, even with, like I said, about when kids and parents, when they want kids want to go D1. And so me and Chip, we did a podcast last week, and we were just talking about like, the things now that are available and accessible to a player. Like it makes no sense where you don't have a resume in order for, let's say if you just an average player that, got cut from a Ramey, or you building up, but you in the gym every day, spending 2 hours to have your parents coming to pick you up, working hard, some essential things that you would need to have in order just to have, like, as far as a resume. And we talked about just the social media and the highlights. Okay. Did you ever think that the video and the mixtape would ever just get you to a point to where that was something that you needed to get recruited by coaches? And so talk about that. And then to where we are right now with that stuff. Do you think players need that to be accessible to coaches nowadays?
Yeah, so growing up, the footage stuff wasn't really like big, like, and then I didn't know too much about it. I had no social media growing up, no Facebook, no Instagram, no Snapchat, nothing. I didn't get my first social media until my sophomore going into my junior year of high school, and it was actually one of my teammates who created my Instagram page, and I'm like, all right, man, I'll just take it over. And then I really only got a Twitter because of you. I remember you telling me, like, you need that so coaches can reach out to you, know who you is. So I went on ahead and created me a Twitter my junior year as well. But yeah, I mean, that stuff real big, because a lot of coaches, they even on Instagram and Twitter. So
heavy.
I didn't know that. I didn't really know that.
They on there heavy, yeah.
I didn't know that. So yeah, that played a big part. But the footage, the all the recordings, that stuff is real big. I I didn't really think about it at a young age. I just wanted to hoop. I wasn't worried about getting footage and this and this. I mean, my mom and them used to record, but that was just for our eyes only. But like even now, with my little brothers, I try to get them as much footage as they need. They probably don't understand how big and important it is, but I mean, whenever I can, I try to have somebody come record or whatever. Because, I mean, it play a big role into, like, if you want to play at the next level, getting out there, getting ranked and stuff like that. Like, that's what a lot of people look at.
Right. Because, and then we were just talking about just making sure that, like, your social medias and all of that type of stuff is clean to the point where it's not a whole lot of junk on there. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, you know, if somebody is looking at you, they need to know right off the bat that this is what you about. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You can't be talking about you a basketball player and I don't see nothing pertaining to basketball on there. And it's just all a whole bunch of mess and a whole bunch of like what they call them pages where you telling jokes on there or just doing all type all type of little silly stuff like that. And then will want somebody to invest in you because even like you just said, like at that next level, college, man, it's a business, and you seeing like all of the different components of it to where it's just like, man, I better not mess these people money up. You know what I'm saying? And then they ain't finna have no clowns coming in here messing their money up. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's one of those things. So would you encourage the next athletes coming up to make sure that they clean their social media and all that type of stuff up?
Yeah, I mean, like even now I go to some of these little kids' pages and you look at it, they in my DMs, I want to like, can you help me do this? I want to be, and then you look at their page and you don't even know they play basketball. So I mean, if that's what you want to do, you got to promote it.
Right.
You go to my page, you ain't gonna see nothing but basketball. It's cool to have some little pictures
to show your personality,
to show who you is. But I mean, when somebody go to your page, they should know, all right, this dude play basketball just off looking at a couple pictures. So, yeah, I mean, it's big, yeah.
So, we talked about even you making that transition to, you know, you saying, like, look, this is what I want to do, and even just going through that recruiting process. Talk about having you trying to figure out what your next step is going to be. So, let's say as far as visiting a school, all right, do you think visiting a school before you commit? So let's say if a kid gets some attention and they getting recruited and they may get an offer, okay? Should they be committing to those schools before they go on a visit? Or like how does that stuff work from what's going on? Because I haven't been recruited in like damn near 20 years. So like how do that stuff work when let's say you getting some attention and they, you know, Zyree, Ethan, all right, we want you to come to our school, here goes some letters and some mail. Should the first letter that you get, should you be saying I'm committing to this school? So kind of talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, them letters, you throw them away. Because, I mean, I done got letters from every school in America, and them coaches never reach out. So, but yeah, when they do finally reach out and they offer or whatever, throw you interest or whatever, and it may be your dream school, and you automatically, I'm committing. That's where I want to. That ain't the move, because like I said, it's a business. They go tell you what you want to hear. You and say you never go visit.
Okay.
You end up committing, and then you get there for your first time, and it's not even what you thought it was gonna be. So now you in a place. Now you gotta figure stuff out. Things might not be going your way. You want to transfer, and it's a whole bunch to it. But yeah, going to visit a school is very important. I took a couple visits to some schools, just to see the environment, get a feel of the school. Yeah, just to see how things were at one school compared to the other ones, like you said, compared to school. So, yeah, I mean, it's very important.
So even your process, was it overwhelming?
Oh, man.
So talk about that, because like I said, a lot of folks be thinking like man, Yuri Collins, man, he a stud basketball player, but not knowing how overwhelming this type of stuff can be, because I mean, it's a lot. You got everybody coming at you saying, come do this, come do this, come do this. So how was you able to kind of like navigate through all of that? And do you have any techniques for, let's say, somebody that's going through the recruiting process now that they can kind of deal with, or some advice that you can kind of give them when it comes? We were just talking about just how was it overwhelming during the recruiting process. So if it's a student athlete, some parents that are going through, because like right now we're about to get ready to start the AAU season. the summer season, and sooner or later these coaches are going to start reaching out to prospective student athletes. And so was it overwhelming for you going through the process of being recruited, going into from your junior year going into your senior year?
I mean, yeah, I remember I played with a lot of good people on my AAU team. I used to watch them pick up offers every weekend, and I used to always think like, dang, like when my turn gonna come. And I used to I go home and I think about it like, dang, I ain't got an offer yet. These dudes picking up offers here and there, here and there. And then when it finally came, it was like, all right now, like when it's going in. And that process it ain't no joke for real. Like it's fun for a minute, but I was recruited by a lot of mid majors. I had some big offers too, but I can't even imagine how it was for dudes who Power 5. You getting all them Power 5 offers. I know it's crazy for them. So, I mean, for me, it wasn't even more like the coaches, like we talked about. It was more like the people on the outside. The outside looking in, don't know nothing that's going on. And it's all the talking they got to do, their opinions. You should go here. You should do this. And that's the part that really was like, all right, now, like stay up out of this. Like,
but how did you deal with that though? Like, did you have people that you would just like that you would reach out to kind of? Because I tried to give you as much as advice as I could, and just telling you about just as far as the basketball side. But it's just like after games, like that ride home, you know what I'm saying? And then you may be talking to your parents who may not even went through that to where they just gonna give you the best advice as far as Yuri Collins, the son, the brother, and just say, look, deal with it like this. But did you have anybody that you would just be like, man, let me ask you what should I do? Or, did you have anybody to confide in to help you out during that process?
I mean, not really. Cause like you said, my dad and my mom, they never really experienced nothing like that. So they was kind of the people outside looking in as well.
Right.
And I mean, they your parents. My mom, she just wanted me to get an education. My dad, he was big on the sport, so even him, he yap all over the place. Yeah, so a lot of guys like you and my former coaches who've been through that process, played college basketball, them was the guys I was really listening to. But yeah, I mean, the process was crazy, and even to the point to where it comes down to like, all right, now you got to make a decision. That was probably one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make. It was a lot of thinking going into it. And around that time, credit to SLU, they did a very good job recruiting me. But for me, it was overwhelming. They was calling every day, two times a day, 3 times a day, trying to get me on campus, trying to get me to do this, do that. When a school really wants you and they fighting for you, they go push. And I mean, my phone blowing up, all the coaches calling. It was overwhelming. And I remember I went on my official to SLU, and it was the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we went through our little visit. Sunday night, I guess that's when people normally commit. He got the whole gym set up and everything, spotlight on you. And I did commit because it just didn't feel right at that moment.
So you said you didn't commit that night?
Okay. I didn't commit. It didn't feel right. Like, I wasn't ready to do it. My dad was mad at me. My mom, she didn't care. She go rock with whatever I do. So that next morning, I remember it was the morning we were supposed to leave. And my mom came to my room, and I just told her, like, I sat on my bed. We was sitting down talking. I told her, I said, I'm tired of it. Like, I don't want to do no more visits. I don't want to do nothing. This feel right. I'm at home. Let's rock with it. And I ended up committing. And when I committed, it was just like, oof. Like, you can say what you got to say now. I'm here. Like, it's stamped. I'm committed. So if you don't want me here, you got your opinions, go ahead, let them go. I'm here now. So, I mean, then even alumni who I know who went to SLU, they was all in my ear. Yeah, go do it. You gotta go. Like, you gotta. This the best choice. Da. So you got all them people out your ear, and I mean, it was just a relief being able to commit there.
Right. So we talking about, again, the high end of just the recruiting process, and you finally saying, man, look, I want to do this. 7th grade, you picked up that ball, took it serious. You finally get a chance to say, man, look, I got me a D1 scholarship, right? For those kids out there want to play basketball, and again, it's the want. They want to get to that level. Can you play D1 basketball without a scholarship? And do you have anybody that say on your team right now, maybe it's a walk-on, maybe it's a kid that, just so happened that was a manager and ended up getting on. What can you say to those people, like, if they don't get a D1 scholarship, can they still play D1 basketball? And have you ever seen anything like that?
Oh, for sure. We got walk-ons on our team. We had a walk-on last year. His name was Josh. Mm-hmm. Josh played at a D2 before he came to SLU, and then he walked on or whatever. Josh could play D1 basketball.
Okay.
He can play. Mm-hmm. But we just had a better team, so we had people who was in front of him, but he was a D1 player, mm-hmm. But the game of basketball was something he loved, so the walk-on position for him was what he took. And I remember it was a game we played at LaSalle. I didn't have a good game, and they ended up throwing Josh in as a walk-on. Nobody knew who he was, and Josh came in and won the game.
See?
And, yeah, a lot of people, I hear it all the time. A lot of parents, they ask me about it. What if my kid don't get a D1 offer? It's cool to go play in NAI or JUCO or a D2 or something like that. And, if you really want it, you go work your way up. You a grind to get there. I got friends who didn't play at D2s and they work. If you love this game, you wanna get to the D1 level, you go do what you gotta do to get there. So that's really all there is to it.
Man, so I wanted to I wanted to put that out there because just going back to what you was just saying is that it's kids, and even at the junior college, because by me playing junior college basketball, the first thing that folks come to their head is that, oh man, I ain't going to junior college. I would dare do nothing like that. Yeah. But it's D1 play, it's pros down there at that level to where you just like, man, you would get dusted up thinking that you finna go down here and just dominate and don't put that work in. Yep. So I said most high school players think that they play or they work hard. All right. And just by knowing the game and just, playing and getting ready for it, man, talk about how hard it is, man, at the next level to play. And did you have any times during your freshman year where you was just like, man, this hard as a mug, man. I don't think I'm ready for this. Any doubt?
First of all, the hard work part. I hate seeing kids posted and talking about working hard and you done been in the gym, so now you finna record. You been in the gym just this day. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know what hard work is, and I can really talk about it because I done been through it. A lot of people don't know, but a lot of people can vouch for me. I didn't really put in work to get where I'm at. Mm-hmm. So, it's levels to it for real. It's really levels to it. And when I got to college, that's a whole different ball game. It's really
so for folks that don't understand when they saying it's a whole different ball game, so I'm lifting weights, I hoop. I'm like Yuri Collins. I hoop almost 3 hours a day. You tell me I can't play for SLU? I can't hoop. How intense do it have to be? It's levels of you play, you work hard, but then it's an intense factor. Not only do you got to work hard and you got to play, you got to be intense. Yeah. And not 95% intense, 100% intense all the time. So, talk about that. What do that mean when I say something like that?
Man, my freshman year, we got on campus, coach smiling. He helped you get your stuff to your room, dapping you up. Oh, man. And then you go over. I met with him. We all met, the team we met. And he said, meet over here at 9 o'clock in the morning. We got workouts. I'm like, all right, cool. That ain't no normal workout. And like you said, it ain't 95%, it ain't 97%, it ain't 98%. It's all out. And if it ain't all out, you can go home and he gonna let you know about it. Yeah. And Coach Ford, he one of them coaches. If it ain't 100, he go get you to 100 for sure. So just being at St. Louis University with them, I feel like I can really feel like I could say don't nobody work as hard as us in the country. Coach Ford is a different coach. A lot of people can't play for him. But it's 100% everything. And it ain't just one workout and it ain't just one weight lift.
Right.
You'll work out, you go lift weights. All right, I see you back here at 5 o'clock. You maybe get to go home and sleep for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Your body hurting so bad you probably can't sleep, so now you're right back to it. So yeah, it ain't high school no more. And even transitioning from high school to middle school, because I remember y'all told me when I was coming into high school, y'all like, yeah, we practice every day.
Mm-hmm.
In middle school, I was practicing 3 days a week.
Right.
So going from 3 days to week to every day, I was even like, hold up. And then going from every day, it was the same transition to college, but now it's not one practice. It's 3 of them a day, every day.
Blisters on your feet. All type
Everything.
of calluses and you like, man, when is this stuff gonna heal? You like, heal.
For real.
You know.
Yeah, and it's a grind, and like I say, college is business. If you don't want to be there, you hit the road.
Man, because I was thinking about that, and I just vaguely remember I didn't lift weights in high school. Yeah. You know, everything was like hooping all day and very little skill level. You know what I mean? Like even just you having a trainer, 6th grade, 7th grade, I didn't even know what that was. And I just hooped all day. So now I go from hooping all day, to I'm hooping in high school, playing at a decent level, doing my thing or whatnot. Then all of a sudden go to junior college to where, all right, you lifting some weights, you going up against some other some country boys that's strong and cats from all over the place. But then I get at the D1 level to where it's like, all right, 6 o'clock workouts with the football team. And that's right before you go to class. And then as soon as class over with, come over here, work out again, skill workout with your groups, whether if it's, a couple guards, and then lifting again. And then later on, expecting everybody to play open gym. Yep. And it's not just regular open gym, it's structured open gym, doing drill. Yeah. And then after that, going to get a little bit something to eat, studying. And then you have to think about, man, do I want to go to that party? Do I want to hang out? Because I got to do this shit all over again at 6 o'clock. And if I don't have the energy, what? And that's what we talking about, just the maximum effort. And so when you see kids when they coast or just going through the coasting, is it any coasting at this level?
No coasting. I feel like you see guys who play a thing on with speed, but that's after you done learned the game and you done become a kind of an expert where you done studied the game so much to where you like, all right, now I can play it. I can play at my speed. Man, I see my little brother all the time. He plays so much of like a little chiller mode. Right. I don't say too much to him right now because he young. I mean, you let him, and he good at what he do. So you just let him, but he go find out eventually where you got to kick it to another gear sometimes because it ain't coast. Once you get to that, you can't just coast. You got guys who bigger, faster, stronger at that next level, and you trying to compete, and you can't coast.
And not just that, it's bigger, stronger, faster guys in the practice with you. Yeah. Now you going on the road. You going on the road to play Dayton or going to play Davis, and now these cats going maximum effort, going hard with a little something in their game, and they trying to do the exact same thing you trying to do. And you say you will learn real fast that this ain't what.
I learned real fast. I had the luxury of playing behind Jay Good, and Jay Good, it was all out with him. No matter what, it was all out.
That dude was intense, man.
100%. He was yelling, screaming, spitting everything. And I was able to pick up some stuff from him because Jay Good, he just played so aggressive, so strong. That I used to have to guard him in practice because Jay Good, he was playing the point guard position. And if you think about it, Jay Good, 6'4", 6'5". Right. I'm a 6-foot guard. He long. He's stronger than me. I couldn't coast with him, especially not at practice. Yeah, you been got cursed out at practice trying to coast with Jay Good. So, I had the luxury of playing behind him and being able to see the game from a different perspective and stuff like that.
So, all right, I'm gonna throw some stuff at you. So, and I ain't gonna say I got away from it because I feel like I have to cultivate a little bit more with these guys as for them to understand when we talk about poise, pride, and pressure. Okay, and I used to always tell that to you guys, like, it's a certain level of pressure that come with even just being a Division I basketball player. It's a certain level of being at a high elite high school player. It's a certain level of pressure that come with all of this, right? Talk about the pressure of just being in the spotlight, all right? Because like you broke the school's all-time assist record in high school and in college. Like that's just huge all across the board. You've made first team conference. What it was offense and defense, offense and defense. being in the spotlight, seeing your pictures up all over St. Louis on the buses and all of that. It's a level of pressure that come with that. For parents and for kids that are listening, kind of talk about that on some of the things that you can do versus some of the things that you shouldn't do. Because, I mean, you could be tempted to do a lot of different things, but know that you're being held in high regards for just being a basketball player. So kind of talk about that a little bit, the pressure of it.
I mean, so with me, I always felt like I was underrated. I didn't get the looks. A lot of people was looked at as better than me. They was picked before me. So
you didn't go to elite camps and all these, man.
I wasn't playing with the Eagles when I was younger.
Right.
Yeah, so the pressure, I didn't have it at a young age. I didn't really start getting it until maybe in high school a little bit. My name started buzzing a little bit, but that pressure don't even compare to the pressure I have now at the college level. Because people look at me like a pro now. There's a lot of stuff I can and can't do, like you said. I can't be going out partying. I can't be posting stupid stuff on social media. I gotta hold myself accountable in a lot of different situations. And I mean, man, the pressure part for me, I don't really get the. I'm not fazed by the pressure because it was something I kind of always wanted. Like, if you got the pressure, you got to be doing something good because it's on you.
Right.
And I know my coach, he talk about all the time, like butterflies in your stomach. And I get those a lot of times before my games. And it's not because I'm scared. It's because, like, the pressure on me. I don't want to go out there and mess up and not play to the level I'm supposed to be playing at. So that pressure as well, just knowing how good you are and not going out there and performing to expectations. It's a lot of pressure on that. But, I mean, when you in the gym all day, you put in the work, you confident in your game, it's easy to, like, throw that pressure off a little bit. Like, shrug your shoulders, walk out there with your head high, chest out. Because, I mean, I feel like whenever I step on a court, I'm one of the best players out there, and I can show that.
Yeah, I like to say, like you talking about, like, the butterflies, but it's a movie that I used to always look at when I was growing up. You ever saw The Last Dragon?
Nah.
So if you ever get a chance to watch this, like, it's one of the coldest movies, and Chip probably already know about. Look, so basically it's just about a story of a guy who was like he's searching for, like, this kung fu master, okay? And through all of this, he got the pressure of, going through life, being tempted by, girls, being tempted by other people coming at him, trying to fight him all of the time, right? But he got this skill that he got the confidence that he know that, look, I'm the truth, but at the same time, I'm searching for something, right? Yeah. And it wasn't until the end of the movie where they kept saying he's searching for the glow, for the glow, for the glow. But the glow comes when you know that you've put all that work in, and then all of a sudden it's like you got that shine. Yeah. You shine in the midst of all of this, you shining right now. So it's a real dope movie you need to check out because it's just like it put everything in perspective of kind of what you're talking about. And so when I talk about even just the pressure and the influence of, like, the fans, alumni, media, all of that stuff can kind of be intense. And so are you able to kind of, like, shift all of that stuff out and just kind of, like, lock in the midst of all of this stuff that go on right now? Like, are you able to kind of, like, block a lot of stuff out in order to keep working hard?
Yeah, I mean, that's as a basketball player, that's a skill you got to have. Being able to block everybody out. That's something you got to have. And a lot of times for me, you got to block people out. You got to block all the stuff people throwing on you, the pressure, if you want to go out there and play your game the right way. So, yeah, a lot of times, I mean, it'd be pressure on me, especially those big games. Your coach throwing pressure on you, your teammates, your mom, your dad, all the outsiders. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. But, I mean, when you want to win, you want to go out there and play at the highest level you can play at, then, yeah, you got to shrug that off and go play your game.
You got to check that movie out, man. That movie.
What is it called? The Last Dragon?
Last Dragon. Oh, man, this is one of the coldest movies of all time, man. Bruce Leroy. You never heard of Bruce Leroy?
Yeah.
That's where all of that stuff. Show enough. Who's the master?
Okay,
Show enough. You ain't never heard nobody talk about that, or man? Because this dude, 20-some years old. When did that come out? That came out in the 80s. So we probably go like another about 5. I got like couple more questions though. Huh? You say you got to clean that room, boy. Man, you got to get that belt out, boy. Get that whoop, man. So now we ready? All right. So now I was just talking about. So we talking about adding to the pressure, poise, pride, and pressure. And that's something that my coach used to always pump into me, and it's just kind of like my mission statement that I always want to express to y'all. Whatever team I had, just talking about that type of stuff. And so, the pressure of it comes from even inside the program. And I joke with Coach Green a lot, and even some of the other coaches, how we was just saying, do you feel like the pressure of, like in high school, like the pressure of the team and us having all of that energy on us as far as we were supposed to be one of the top teams ranked nationally, all of that type of stuff. Do you think the pressure got to us down the stretch versus not having so much pressure your senior year when folks weren't really tripping off of us, and then we were able to do something special that way? So kind of just talk about that. I want to kind of bring things back around because I want people to understand that even in high school, it's going to be like you're going to be dealt with so much pressure of, like we talk about, outside stuff that's coming in, and how to be able to just navigate through that. And at the same time, when you play doing something that you love with not a whole lot of pressure on you, special things can happen. So kind of talk about them 2 seasons, your junior versus your senior season.
Yeah, so my junior year, like you said, we was one of the top teams in St. Louis, the area. A lot of people was talking about us worldwide. So, I mean, I do feel like pressure played a part in the failures we had towards the end of the year. And I just feel like we held ourselves to so much of a high standard. We didn't give ourselves enough credit. And I feel like that last game we did lose against Sykeston, it was more of finding out a way to beat them instead of, like, knowing who we are. Like, going out there with nothing to lose.
Right.
I feel like pressure did play a little part in that. But going on to my senior year, everybody count us out. Y'all ain't gonna win 10 games.
Man, I tell people all the time, man, my lowest moment, one of my lowest moments as a coach, and I don't know if you remember this, but I think we were playing Afton. And I think you got some type of ball or some type of award, and you got either kicked out of the game or I had to sit you down for something. I'm just like, man, this dude head ain't even there. And then we ended up losing to that team, and I'm just like, and we below 500 at the time. And I'm just like, man, this is like my lowest moment as a coach. I'm just like, man, what is wrong with these dudes? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that game. Yeah. That's
what was going on?
I got my 1,000-point.
It was 1,000 points?
Yeah, I got my 1,000-point ball that game.
You was just tripping off something?
Nah,
what was you thinking about?
It was the game before that we had played Cardinal Ritter at home. We lost to Cardinal Ritter at home.
Oh, that's when we had to have that team meeting, and we was all just, man, everybody was just into it. I was like, man, we put all type of stuff up on the board. We like, man, we need to talk to you. And this is my first time actually seeing you like, man, I'm tired of this stuff and this and that. I'm just like, dude, man, y'all got to let it out. Like, because we lost on like a tip in or something. It was just a whole bunch of little crazy stuff going on. So, all right, so just talk about that. So we didn't have not a whole lot of expectations your senior year, and it was just kind of like, all right, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, I mean,
low points, low moments, man. Look, it's almost over with, So kind of just talk about this.
Yeah, so like my senior year, I mean, we went in with nothing to lose. I missed the first
like 5 or 6, but you was missing 5 or 6 games every year though.
Yeah, I missed the first 5 or 6 games. We had a slow start. I came back. We was getting back in the groove of things. Like you said, it was high points, low points, where we was winning, we was losing. And I remember that Cardinal Ritter game, we ended up losing. We had that meeting. We had some disagreements with some stuff. That next game, I didn't play good. But then from then on, we kind of picked things up. And one thing I remember most about my senior year was Coach Pat. Coach Pat used to always say, we just need 6 of them. 6 of them. He talked about 6 the whole year.
6 games.
And I didn't even I didn't even like really think about it until we got there, and I'm like, dang, we like 6 games and we state champs. But even at that time, I mean, wasn't nobody else talking about 6 games. They didn't think we was go make it out of district, so it was no pressure on us at all. I mean, we was going out there, we was playing basketball. We was talented, we was long, we was fast, scrappy. So I know we surprised a lot of people with what we did, but I mean, that was probably not because of the run we had, but just because of what people thought our team was gonna be, and what we was able to show. That was probably like my best year at St. Mary's playing basketball, just because we was able to prove a lot of people wrong. And then on top of that, everybody was telling me to leave St. Mary's my senior year. Go over there, play with EJ, go all these prep schools and stuff. And deep inside me, I knew it wasn't go sit right with me if I left, which is why I didn't leave. I had to leave St. Mary's with a bang, like do something special.
And then we all know the what ifs. If you didn't get hurt, if this didn't happen, and all of that, the fact that even in a loss, that was still probably like, I feel like such a shining moment, even when in like the school community around St. Louis, because just that energy was there. It's just kind of like, it was like basically like what you said in the NCAA tournament, when folks were able to go on like these magical runs, and even just kind of transitioning in. And you kind of talked about that you had opportunities to transfer, and people are always in folks' ear about transferring. So I got a stat where it says about 40% of all men basketball players who enter Division I directly out of high school depart their initial school by the end of their sophomore year. So we talked about the transfer portal, and it says 1,700 players transferred in 2021, right? And then the stat was, man, it said out of the 1,700, 1,400 found new schools, and 300 players were left without nowhere to play, okay? Talk about the transfer portal versus being at a school where you can have a legacy and you might have to play behind somebody. Like I feel like in certain cases, if you know that you can play and you have an opportunity to play somewhere else, maybe like on a lower level, a D2, NAIA, just go and play and have fun. Like a small percent of us get a chance to say that we're gonna play basketball professionally or be able to make it to be drafted and do all of this crazy stuff to where, man, just go and enjoy college, have some fun, hoop, and start working. And then it may be a place for you to continue to play basketball after we finish, but go enjoy those years. Speak to the opportunity of being in a situation where you can play, have a legacy, versus being somewhere not happy, not wanting to wait, and then transferring out. So kind of talk about that, what you see.
So I tell my teammates all the time, as a captain on my team, we meet all the time. And early in the season, guys still trying to figure out their role. Middle of the season, maybe you still, but you should got an idea. And by the end of the season, you should know your role, and you should have to be willing to accept that role.
Right.
Because it's clutch time at that point. Everything needs to be clicking. Everything needs to be going good. So I tell my team all the time, those guys that's not playing, I can't relate because I play 40 minutes a game. I can't relate to y'all. I ain't gonna tell y'all to do this, not to do that, but as a brotherhood, we need to come together at these times. I know you probably mad you ain't playing, but we got to lock in right now. We trying to win games. We got to all come together. You got to let that stuff go. We can handle this after the season. Right. If you want to transfer, you could transfer, but right now you here, you might as well just play your role. So for me, being able to have the chance to play 40 minutes a game, be put in that position, I mean, I can't even explain it. And you got to be out there to really enjoy them moments. But I feel like a lot of guys enter the transfer portal because you come in thinking you going to get what they told you was going to get. You're not working as hard no more. And you just thought coming into college, oh, he told me this. I was highly recruited. You think you better than everybody else, but that really ain't it. You get to college, you still got to work.
Right.
Outside of practice, outside of weights, outside of all the stuff coach putting in, you got to go get your individual work. And that's what a lot of people don't do, and that's how people fall off. And
so they just think just because I'm at college that this is supposed to just be it.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
I think I used to always tell you, like, man, no matter what, even after you playing and that practice over, man, go grab a manager, go play one-on-one with them to kind of work on your stuff, because what it eventually end up happening is you'll be a system player, and then you'll just be in that system and not being able to think outside of having some type of creativity in your game just in case something else would come up. You know what I mean?
And I mean, even talking about systems, that's why a lot of people transfer too. You get to college and like it's a business, it's a system. You flowing through what your coach wants you to do. And some people, they don't know a system. They can't play in the system. Never been taught how to play the basketball the right way. So now you get to college and you can't just run and jump and
man, I can't just shoot the ball 20 times, man.
You can't dribble 40 times no more.
And don't get back on defense, man.
Yeah, so
and I can't stay out there.
Yeah, you can't do none of that. If you want to do that, come sit next to me. And I see that a lot of times because it's a system. All college coaches don't just let you, unless you number one draft pick, let you go out there and do what you want to do. And I see that a lot. My 3 years in college, I didn't seen that. I didn't seen people come in and not work no more and lose their spot, lose what they had. I didn't seen some good people come in college like, yeah, you could be this, but now you ain't that.
Do you think that that's the lack of not having authentic people around them telling them the real, or just having people around just saying, man, you can go get buckets at that school and you can go get, as opposed to just being like, look, you may be able to do that now and at this level, but dude, you better learn the skill when you get to that level.
Yeah, I feel like you said, it's people not keeping it real with them. Of course, in high school, when you more athletic, you faster, stronger, yeah, you go run around and dunking, jumping on people. But at one point, you got to have somebody who go tell you, all right, like, you doing it now, but you got to, like, this ain't going to work at the next level if you trying to get there. You got your parents telling you, oh, yeah, you good, you the superstar, and that's all you hear all your life. You never hear what you ain't doing right. So you get to college, and now they telling you what you ain't doing right. They telling you what you is go do and what you ain't go do. Now you want to leave because they telling you what you ain't been doing your whole life and what you ain't go do here that you was. Yeah, so you see a lot of people enter the transfer portal for them reasons.
Do you think it's the lack of, like, going through adversity? Because even when you was in high school, you got to think about it too. You're like, you had a lot of adversity that you had to go through, being injured, you know, having what we talked about, and not just one injury, like being injured twice, like, you know, and like stuff like that, to where for a person that's been playing, like right now at the college level, you playing 40 minutes a game. But just think about when you was in high school, you probably never would have to come out of the game if something like that wouldn't have happened. So even just talk about just for a small part, talk about going through some adversity. And was your shoulder injury the only adversity that you think you kind of went through? And do you think that helped to where you are right now, able to kind of battle through even little adversities that you may get at this level?
Man, yeah, I feel like I really do. I'm different than a lot of people. I can fight through a lot of stuff, pain, adversity, whatever you like. I'm pushing through it. But it's because of my love of the game. I want to be out there. So adversity, it really ain't stopped me until it was something like my shoulder
had to
surgery.
make you sit down.
Like I had to go sit down. A lot of people ain't never been through adversity or even got the mindset to, if some little stuff happened, know how to fight through it or even want to.
Oh, man, I'm sore today, man. I got to show up to practice again.
And that's even starting at a young age when you tired, you done been in the gym 2 hours. All right, now it's time to go do it tomorrow. Oh, my legs hurt. Like, you got to push through little stuff like that. So, I mean, even now, I was just meeting with my trainer, and he just laughed at me all the time. I just had a little injury, and I ain't tell him about it. I've been playing through it for 3 months, and he's just like, man, we just can't never get you to sit down. But, I mean, I want to be out there on that court. Like, I know what I want to do in my life. Like, I want to go make some money playing this game. I don't never want to have to work a day in my life. I want to open up doors for my little brothers. I want my family to be good. So, adversity, I'm kicking them doors down whenever I got to.
Man, nah, that's real talk, man. I just hope, man, that folks can kind of listen to this and don't just look at the fact of, you know, the glitz and the glamour side of this and not look at the fact of you work extremely hard, you gifted, and not only just that, like you a student of the game, studying the game. And that's one of the last things I kind of want to kind of talk about before we head off, because I had a question about, have you even started thinking about like just like your philosophy of what basketball can do for you outside of, and not just as far as the like I always looked at basketball as like a tool for life. So even if it's one day where we stop playing basketball, you know, because we all get old. You know, I'm 40 years old. Right now, I'm like, look, I look at a basketball and I'm just like, man, I love it. Like I said, it's opened so many doors for me. But at a certain point, I got to look at it as like I have to start giving back. Have you started thinking about like your philosophy of the game and what you want to do for like the next generation with like your little brothers and, you know, family members and stuff like that?
I think about it even now. I feel like I done learned a lot in my lifetime with this game to where I can give back now. Even at a young age, 21 years old, I feel like there's a lot I can teach kids. So yeah, I feel like when I'm done playing this game, all in all, I'm gonna have a lot to give back. Coming back, training kids or whatever. I do want to coach one day, so that's something I would like to do once I'm done playing basketball.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your time. All right, I appreciate Chip, man. I appreciate everything that you know, the nuggets that you done dropped on everybody, man. And like I said, for the most part, man, I just hope that somebody can get some information out of this and that it can just push the game forward. Yeah. So glory to the game, man. I appreciate you, and man, blessings to everything that you got moving forward, man.
For sure. Appreciate it. Yeah.